Hi guys, another beautiful day here in Spain. Today I'm going to do a quick video blog. I'm heading off into Murcia City with the big Suzuki you can see behind me. And the reason I'm going into Murcia is I've had to order some semi-synthetic oil for the big Suzuki. It's only done a couple of thousand miles during the winter, but every summer, or certainly when it gets hot like it is at the moment, it's hitting sort of 30 degrees at the moment, I change the oil, drop the oil out and put what I call a summer oil in. So during the summer this bike normally has 10W40 oil, and during the summer I put 15W50 semi-synthetic in it. The reason I do that is it's much smoother for the gearbox, and the bike overall runs a lot better. It's a bit more viscous than the winter oil I normally use in the bike, but I get a much better ride in out of the bike in the summer using 15W50. It's very smooth on the engine, much higher viscosity, and it's better with the higher temperatures. So I'm going to get some kit on, get my helmet on, get the GoPro going, take a bit of footage and post this video later. Well guys, this stuff's not cheap in Spain. 37 euros, discount of 7 euros ordering online and picking up in the store, so a bit of a saving. But Castrol Power 1, power release formula, semi-synthetic 15W50 4T. Okay guys, back with the big Suzuki and the oil to change, semi-synthetic 15W50 4T. And to be honest, changing the oil in the big Suzuki is a bit of a pig. So if you look underneath, I don't know if you'll be able to see. See right at the back there, On the back end of the sump is the drain plug. Now on the bike is sat a catalytic converter at the back there. When the bike is sat level, there's very little clearance under the bike to drain the oil out. So it's a bit of a pig and a poke to do, but I probably should have done it down my other house in the shade because it's stonking hot here, but I've got back, left the bike for half an hour to cool down a little bit so the oil's still warm, and I'm going to try and drain it out and put the synthetic in, semi-synthetic I should say. Okay guys, what we want to do is crack the nut on the sump first. There she is loose. She's loose enough to turn by hand. And now what we need to do is go and get a suitable container to put under the bike to drain the oil while it's still warm. The sump's very warm to touch, so I have to be careful we don't get any burns off the hot oil. Okay guys, suitable container, it's an old paint roller tray. Just open that old, the full amount of oil that's going to come out of the bike. Normally use an old washing up bowl, which is pretty tight to get your hand to it, but you want to try this paint roller tray and just see what happens. Hopefully if I keep a good grip on the nut and it gets too full, I can put the nut back in fairly quickly. So it is quite warm, so I want to keep the thread pushed against as long as I can before I actually remove the sump nut. In fact, it's crazy hot. It's actually that hot, it's burning my fingers. So surprised now hot these bikes get, these air-cooled bikes in over 30 degrees. Oh. Nearly there, a couple more turns. Now if you do this a lot, I would suggest changing the copper washer. This one's not long been replaced during its winter oil change, so I'm tempted to put the same one back in, but if you have not done it for a while and you keep putting the nut back in, certainly, oh, that was warm. Whew. Certainly think about changing it. So we've got to keep our fingers crossed now that we've got enough capacity in this paint roller tray. Put it carefully, there's no crud on the sump plug. I think we'll have to put the sump plug back in. Ow, 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 ow. Tighten that back up by hand, and obviously pour this into another container to dispose of it and then carry on. I'll just do that quickly. That's hand tightened so there's nothing dripping. Now very carefully with a waste container, this could go one or two ways. This is quite full actually. So see what we can do. So, very full and very, very warm. Not overly messy considering we're on gravel. I can always rake that over for the spillage, not too much. And we'll get the rest of the oil out. When you're changing the oil, you need to get the oil to a warmed up temperature. Like I said, this has been stood half an hour after a ride and it's still stonking hot, to be honest. And we'll drain the rest out. Getting there now. Now another thing with the oil, you want to feel the oil and feel the viscosity, see if there's any roughness, especially towards the end of the drain like this now. It's fairly smooth, but it's lost a lot of its viscosity mainly because of the high temperatures and the warm weather. And also what you need to do once you're near the end of drainage, obviously you get the bike to a vertical plane and make sure you've got everything drained out the sump. The sump plug is actually on the corner that's nearest to the low point anyway, so it's probably designed to do it in such a way that it drains to that corner, but it's always worth giving your bike a bit of a waggle. Or at least a rock anyway. When you've got something like £650 lump like this, you wouldn't have much chance with a top stand anyway, so hence it being just on the side stand. And as you can see, the flow rate's increased again, giving it a waggle. I think we'll do that a couple more times. And we'll leave that a couple of minutes to drain totally, and then we'll get ahead with the oil change. Okay guys, so the oil's totally drained. We'll get the sump plug back in and give it a wipe underneath. Just a reverse of what we've done before. I'm not actually changing the filter this time because doesn't warrant changing. It's not got enough mileage on the filter to keep changing it as frequently as I like to change the oil. Right, so what you need to do next is remove the cover from the bike. I'll put the camera up a bit. You've got a cover that covers the filler cap, also access to your fuses, and you're going to need a suitable, remove the cover, you're going to need a suitable funnel, or make your own out of a bottle or whatever you want to do. This one's quite hard to get to even with a standard funnel. It's bit of a gap behind the fuse box here. So what we'll do now, we'll get the oil. And it's pretty straightforward on anything, car, motorbike, anything if you're changing it. The Royal Enfield's a bit more complicated because there's quite a few plugs underneath to remove. On this there's just the one. I'll take the cover off that. And we'll attempt to get this in here without spilling too much on the bike. Seems to be going okay. Okay guys, we're getting the oil in now. The oil, this Castrol Power 1 15W50T is quite strange oil because I don't know if you can see in the funnel I've got there. It's almost like hydraulic oil. Very, very red in colour, so it's a strange colour. It's not like your normal oil colour. But I'll continue to get the oil in and we'll check the levels in a minute. There we are guys, the oil's back in. I'm going to let it run for a couple of minutes to get around the engine, and I'm going to let it settle again, check the oil level. As you can see from the oil window at the moment, it doesn't show anything when it's on the side stand. You need to have it on level ground. So let it tick over for a couple of minutes, get all around the engine, and we'll turn it off, let it settle, and we'll check the oil level. So guys, had a few minutes to settle down, we'll get it up on. Oh, big heavy lump. And we'll see what we've got in the window. And we're just towards the upper limit on level ground. We're way past the middle and we're up to the middle limit. So that's 4 litres without changing the filter. Obviously the filter holds a little bit of oil. So we'll get the cover back on and wipe anything down that's got dabs of oil on it, and basically that's it for this video. Give me a thumbs up, give me a like, follow my channel for more biking videos, Royal Enfield, the big Suzuki, and my off-road bike that's hiding there behind the tree.